So in this video, I'm going to show you how to mix your voiceovers, your podcast, and your tutorials. So without wasting time, let's dive in. Now before we start, this is what the vocal sounds like without any effect whatsoever. The history of accounting is as old as mankind. No wonder it is generally believed that any attempt to trace the history of accounting would lead to the robust discussion on the history of mankind. So the first thing I have here is a noise suppression plugin. So I use the noise suppression plugin to reduce some of the background noise in the voiceover. So I use the RX voice denoise. So the next thing I have here is a compressor. So I'm using the FabFilter Pro C2 compressor, and I have it set on a very high threshold, a high ratio, a fast attack, and then a medium release. Then I have a parametric EQ. So I use the FL Studio parametric EQ to cut out the low end around anything below 100 Hz. Then I boosted around 100k to give it a radio presenter type deep voice. And I removed some of the boxy frequencies from around 300 to 500 Hz. I removed some harsh frequencies, and then I boosted around 5k to add presence to the voiceover. Next, I added a DSR plugin. So I used the FabFilter Pro DS for this, and I honed it around 7 to 10k where the S is very prominent, and then I used a very high threshold and then a medium range. And then I noticed that the voiceover has some prominent plosives in it, so I used a plugin called RX Deplosive to reduce some of it. And then I added a tiny bit of saturation, so I used a plugin called Barrier by Kit plugin, and I added very little saturation to the voiceover. Then finally I added a plugin called Fresh Air to add some air to the voiceover. So this is the before. The history of accounting is as old as mankind. No wonder it is generally believed that any attempt to trace the history of accounting would lead to the robust discussion on the history of mankind. And then this is the after. The history of accounting is as old as mankind. No wonder it is generally believed that any attempt to trace the history of accounting would lead to the robust discussion. So I hope you got value from this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and also check out more videos we have on the channel.